This program contains subject matter and language.
Think you know the Brooks Ghost? Think again. Introducing the all-new, better-than-ever Ghost 16. Now with nitrogen-infused cushioning for lightweight, supreme softness that feels good every step, every street, every single day. So go ahead, take your daily joyride in the all-new nitrogen-infused Ghost 16. It'll turn your everyday miles into everyday endorphins. Let's run there. Head to brooksrunning.com to learn more.
That may be disturbing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
There we go again.
More technical problems. We live in the 21st century.
Savage, unfiltered.
Not only should we not be supporting them, but we gave $30 billion. Did you know we gave $30 billion this week, Jim?
Your host, Michael Gardner. Like a Hellcat.
Hey guys, welcome to today's show, guys. Welcome. We got a damn good show for you. About to bring on Soslin Timison from his show, The Sos Report. Guys, we're waiting on Joseph. I'm not sure if Joseph fell asleep on his couch or something. He's known to do that, ladies and gentlemen, from time to time. But until Joseph gets here, I want to bring Sos here on the camera here. I see Sos bobbling his head a mile a minute. Hopefully he's got some strong Wi-Fi. So hopefully this works out for him. Guys, we're supposed to have Derek from Waam Radio join us here on the show. So got to get the water in for this one, guys. So yeah. So we're about to bring Sos in here. Sos, how's it going, buddy? Welcome, man. What's going on, buddy?
Man, what's going on is I asked for a code of conduct, from UW-Madison.
Yeah.
Redacted papers. Oh my goodness! Like I've asked that. Okay.
Right.
Get this. Okay. They're like trade secrets documents, consistent trade secrets are defined in Wisconsin statutes would harm the public's interest. Why don't you cry me a river, UW-Madison? Oh my goodness. I'm giving it up.
Yeah, you're getting so it's going to be a rather interesting stuff. Well, yesterday, guys, we had I had the opportunity to be on Tommy Nation Politics.
Oh,
damn good show. Damn good show. Yeah, guys, we got a clip here. Yeah, we got a clip here that I'm about to plug in, guys. Check this out.
Directed the murder of U.S.-based journalist Jamal Khashoggi. The State Department also says the Saudi government is responsible for executing nonviolent offenders and for torture. President Trump has not punished senior Saudi leaders. Would you?
Yes, and I said it at the time. Khashoggi was, in fact, murdered and dismembered. And I believe in the order of the Crown Prince.
Shut up.
And I would make it very clear, we were not.
Shut this goon up, Sos. This guy's a freaking goon. This is our president of the United States. I got to get a water here because I'm going to be going out of words here. Sos, man, talk to me. What's going on, man?
He's got to give more money to them. That's what they have to do.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely got to get some more money in here. I want to plug that in a little bit more, guys, but we're going to bring our guests in here. Joining us here from Waam Radio, Derek, man. What is going on, buddy?
Hi, Michael. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, man. Everything is loud and clear on your end. What's going on, man? Welcome to Savage Unfiltered. I'm the host here, Michael Gardner, and then joining us here is the co-host, Soslin Timison. Welcome to the show, man.
All right. Well, thank you very much for having me, and I got to give a big thank you to Joe Leonard for setting this up. He's the one who got me to reach out to you to be on your program, and thank you for giving me some time to talk about a big game that's going to be coming up in college football on New Year's Eve, one of the two college football playoff semifinals, which will feature in the Fiesta Bowl the Michigan Wolverines and the TCU Horned Frogs. And when you look at this matchup, the Michigan Wolverines, they've been dominant this entire season with their power running game. They average, they've averaged They've averaged 243 rushing yards per game and 40.1 points per game as well. And obviously their biggest star, Blake Corum, he's out for the year, had to have season-ending knee surgery. Unfortunately, he was their big guy in the backfield, averaged 5.9 yards per carry, scored 18 rushing touchdowns, accumulated 1,463 rushing yards. But they have a capable backup in Donovan Edwards. He came up big against the Ohio State Buckeyes a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, did he really? Yeah. He hammered that fucking game. I mean, Derek, it was balls to the wall, man, really.
Yeah. A pair of touchdown runs of 85 and 75 yards to put that game away for the Wolverines. When it looked like maybe Ohio State was going to make a comeback in the fourth quarter, they got to within 8 points. But the Michigan running game was resilient. They struggled early on in that game. They had to go to the passing game, and surprisingly, it worked because the Michigan Wolverines passing game with J.J. McCarthy had been sporadic.
Unfiltered.
Target, the receivers would drop it a lot of times deep down the field, and then a lot of times J.J. McCarthy would overthrow open receivers. But
Yeah, I caught some of that that you've been saying on your radio station there up in Detroit, Derek, on Wham Radio, man. You guys have been, hammering that topic like left and right. So hat tip to you guys over there at Wham Radio, buddy. Getting in the content where it's supposed to be. Thank you very much. That's all I have to say. Big follower of you guys up there in Detroit.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Michael. I truly appreciate it.
So I want to talk about a little bit of college football. Sauce and I, we've been kind of tackling this, man. What do you think is going to happen with this Georgia Bulldog and Alabama?
Oh, well, actually, Georgia's playing Ohio State.
Yeah. Excuse me, I had it backwards. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, I had it backwards. Yeah. What do you think of that game?
Bad. To be honest, I haven't watched that much of Georgia this year, but I know they've got a strong run defense, and they get after the quarterback pretty well. So CJ Stroud, when he went up against Michigan and they brought pressure to him, he struggled. He couldn't complete passes on a consistent basis. So I truly believe the Georgia defense, they've got some great athletes, and they're going to be able to bring the pressure to get in CJ Stroud's face and create a lot of havoc for him and try to make the Ohio State offense one-dimensional, be a running team. And that's not what Ohio State wants to be. They want to throw the ball all over the parking lot, play sandlot football, style football. And that's just, in my mind, that's not going to really happen for Ohio State in this game. And I think it's kind of karma at the same time, too, because the Buckeyes, they backed into the college football playoff, really didn't earn it in a way, they didn't win their conference championship. And because USC got smoked by Utah in the Pac-12 championship game, that's ultimately how Ohio State got in. And they obviously, the college football playoff committee, they didn't want to have a rematch between Michigan and Ohio State. So that's why they kept Michigan. Yeah,
did you see the game? Did you see the game this past Saturday, man, with LSU? I mean, in my eyes, man, they dominated that game 50-30 this past Saturday.
Yeah, I was watching some of that game, but yeah, see, the thing with me is if I'm not watching anybody, if Michigan's not playing in the game and it's a blowout, typically I turn it off. So once I saw that LSU was making somewhat of a comeback, possibly maybe could make a game of it, and then all of a sudden Georgia started pulling away once again, I knew in my mind Georgia was going to win this game going away, and that's ultimately what they did with their big tight end Brock Bowers for Georgia. That guy is a beast. He's going to be obviously playing in the National Football League for somebody. He could be the next Travis Kelce.
I see him going over to possibly, and this is my own personal opinion, possibly the Bucks, or maybe New York Jets might pick him up in the offseason. You never know, man.
What about the
Chicago
Bears?
Chicago Bears, Sauce says, yeah, I agree with Sauce. Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. Chicago needs to be rebuilt their damn team. That's what I think.
So, what's your actual name besides Wham Radio?
Well, yeah, our moniker is actually Waam Talk 1600. We're on AM 1600 and also 92.7 FM up here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And actually the FM transmitter is based out of Chelsea. That covers a little bit of a smaller area, and we also stream online at whamradio.com.
Well, so I covered the Chicago got exposed that they're not a good team after all, and I think it could be versus Michigan State versus Georgia in the championship, and I hate to say it, I don't get beat it back to back winning because they got a good run defense, they got a good run game. Their defense has a game, and that's what Michigan is comprised of.
Yeah, and that is scary to think if Michigan ultimately beats TCU and Georgia beats Ohio State, which I believe will happen, and the Michigan-Georgia matchup for the national championship. That's ultimately going to be the huge test for Michigan. They got walloped by Georgia last year in the college football playoff semifinal, and J.J. McCarthy, the Wolverines starting quarterback, he's made it a point that this team has not forgotten about that beating, and hopefully they have learned their lesson from that game last year, and maybe they've got something in their back pocket. I know Blake Corum, their star running back, won't be playing, so that certainly does not help the Wolverines in that aspect. But with Donovan Edwards, their backup running back, then Blake Corum. So once he sees the hole, he has the ability to make guys miss. I mean, if you watch the Big Ten championship game on that 60-yard run in the second half, all of the offensive linemen.
He took that damn. Yeah, he took it hard, Derek. I mean, he ran that ball like there was no tomorrow, man. I follow Michigan very well, and I mean they have a tremendous squad under their belt. They really do. I've mentioned this with Sauce many times in the show, including mine and his on the Sauce Report. And I mean, we got into great detail, and Sauce was like, Michigan is going to go there all the way. But I mean, you can't forget about Georgia. I mean, the Bulldogs. I mean, every single freaking game, man, they're fucking pulling like hammies, like left and right, literally. I mean, it's just the way they are in Athens. I mean, they're proud of their team there in Athens, Georgia, and it's a tremendous stadium for folks that haven't been over to Athens, Georgia. A historic little town, man. But the people behind that stadium, Derek, I've never seen the amount of passion coming out of this fan base there in Georgia. They get so loud, they get so rowdy, and they're behind their Bulldogs. So I think Bulldogs, man, they're going to go all the way.
Yeah, and they very well could beat Michigan again. But and this is going to be the key for Michigan to overcome Georgia. It's going to have to be up to the tight ends. Michigan, I think they're going to have to run a lot of double tight end formations. And with Luke Schoonmaker and Colston Loveland, Joel Honigford, and Max Bredesen, those are four highly capable tight ends for the Wolverines who can block in the running game. And they've shown that consistently throughout this entire season. Ultimately, that's what's going to come down to if Michigan wants to pull off this upset. And it would be a pretty big upset. And I know Georgia, they'll probably be at least a touchdown favorite if both of these teams end up playing for the national championship. So I think
Georgia relies heavily on the run game, but they also have a good pass.
Yeah. And Georgia, I'll give, from what little I've seen this year, and unfortunately I have to plead ignorance because the way it works with me in watching college football, I work on Saturday afternoons here at Wham Radio in Ann Arbor. So most of the time I have to record the Wolverines football games, and then I go back home and watch them, typically starting about 5:00. And then I methodically take notes on each game, and it takes me sometimes between 3 and 4 hours to take notes on each game for my own program on Sunday afternoon. So then I don't have much time to watch what's going on with other teams, but I just catch what's going on here and there. But from what little I've seen of Georgia, they've got some monstrous athletes, and their tight end, Brock Bowers, like I mentioned earlier, he's going to be ultimately the Wolverines' number one guy who they're going to have to cover.
Oh, without a doubt.
As far as pass defense. Yeah,
without a
and
doubt.
Michigan's defense, they've gotten burned with some big pass plays this year. But
Yes.
but Jesse Minter, the Wolverines defensive coordinator, he's done a fantastic job of making halftime adjustments. And
Hey, Derek, we're losing time, man. 15 seconds, buddy. You got any more last remarks here before we close it out with you? But I want to thank you for coming on the show, man.
Well, thank you very much, Michael. I truly appreciate being on the program and giving me some time to talk about the Michigan Wolverines football team. And I'm going to say go Blue.